Hello and welcome to the Breath of Life. I'm Todd, and as always, super grateful that you're here to join me. So, I gotta tell you, Jesus is funny. Whoo, boy. Dude cracks me up. So yesterday, probably around 10 o'clock at night, I'm reading the Bible, and my brain was just getting all figure it outy and trying to cross reference and a bunch of what about this and this and this and I'm trying to read as much as I can and it's hard to continue to read more and more and more because I'm so like all over the place in this spot and I haven't even probably gotten into over 30 books. So I prayed him. And I ask him to quiet my mind, to be able to read more than I am with an open heart, so I can comprehend and remember and be able to speak to it. And he says back to me, that sounds like a lot of work. He goes, why don't you just read it and let what happens happen? There's no right or wrong way. There's no amount you need to get through. And then he goes, and what's your rush? The Bible isn't going anywhere. Actually, it's been around for thousands of years. Oh man. And then hours later, it's like 3:30 in the morning, literally. I even put a short up um on this. I recorded it in the moment. So it's 3:30 in the morning, and I have someone in my life that has wronged me. And I pray for him every day. I thought I had reached a place of forgiveness, but I didn't. Um, it enters my mind daily. And I stop myself. But it's constant, constant, constant. Not constant, but it's every day. So talking to God and oh my God, this guy, I just I don't think he's a good person. He, whether it's intentional or not, manipulates, lies, twists words. I hate this term, but gaslights. Um, it, it's almost like if you interact with him on a business level, it's like he ruins. He's a ruiner. And I do have hate in my heart for him. I do. And so I'm talking to Jesus and I'm like, you know, I just want him to apologize. You know, I just want him to own his stuff. It'd be so much easier, Jesus, if he would just say he's sorry. If he repented to me, then Jesus goes, yeah, tell me about it. Oh, so yeah, he's got a way about it. But I'm going to follow his advice. And his advice actually came through. If you're not familiar with him, Johnny Chang. Johnny Chang is a uh he's a preacher now. And long story short, real messed up childhood, very, very abusive father. And then he wound up joining gangs and living that life in jail for 13 years, prison for 13 years. And, he's born again and he's amazing. But he was telling the story of his father because him and his father had a very estranged relationship. There was a time when his father, when he was a kid, picked him up and started beating him and telling him how he ruined his life and he wished he never had this son and all of this. Like horrible stuff. So Johnny was saying how in prayer, Jesus told him to apologize to his father. And he was struggling with this. He's like, I'm supposed to apologize to my abuser? And he winds up calling his dad. They meet at a restaurant and he tells him, he says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was a bad son. Sorry I ruined your life. And as he's saying these things, his dad breaks down, apologizing to him because the father realized in these years he was filled with shame. He felt that he was a bad father, that he shouldn't have beat his kids. He had a total turnaround on it, yet the two of them were never talking to each other about it because of shame, because of the guilt. So Johnny had to be the bigger man. Um, but that's how he had to approach it. And I mean, this is really the whole Jesus story, right? One of the main reasons the Jews didn't believe in him is because they thought their Messiah was going to be like a David, a guy that's going to come in and free them from the Romans, and there'll be some revenge, and because all of the oppression that the Romans were doing on the Jews, like they wanted a guy to come in like David, some badass, some warrior, and we're gonna take back what's ours. And but that's not Jesus. Jesus is love. I remember when Jesus and the disciples, um, when they were walking and they came across a bunch of Roman soldiers, and the Roman soldiers were busting their chops, and they were telling them, "You're going to carry our armor for us," because there's some law where they have to carry it for like a mile. Like the Romans are allowed to tell the Jews to do this for like, but a certain period of time. I think it's a mile. And um, and it's hot out, right? It's crazy. It's hot, and they've already been trekking for days and days and days. Come across the Roman soldiers, and they start putting their helmets on all the disciples and making them carry their armor and their shields and all that stuff. So Jesus tells his disciples, yes, we're doing this. And remember, these are the people that are like talking smack to him, talking down to him. They're like dogs. They treat him like dirt. So they walk their mile. And then you know what happened? Because at that point, they can take all the armor off and give it back to the Romans by law. Jesus said, no, let's keep going. He walked them all the way to where they were getting to. And in the process of them doing that, they converted the Roman soldiers because they couldn't believe it, what they were seeing. They never seen that before. Love is unconditional love. So when we have conflict with somebody else, even though we're still not at that place of fully forgiving, what I suggest doing is talk. At the very least, even if there's someone in our life who has wronged us. And listen, I'm speaking in generalities here, okay? There's always an exception to every rule, but In general, those who have wronged us, typically we've done some wrong too. Now, theirs might outweigh ours. That might just be in our mind, but whatever. At the very least, what our sin is not being able to forgive them, not being able to love them, wanting to cut them out of our lives and really never see them again. For that, we can apologize. And not like, hey, I'm sorry that I can't forgive you. I'm sorry I don't love you. I know for me what I'll say to my person is something along the lines of, I wish I wasn't able to communicate with you for this period of time, because I was too angry and I didn't even want to have the conversation. And I could have definitely handled that better. And I definitely can apologize for that. So hope that helps a little bit. Oh, guess what? So because I'm doing these videos, right? Again, I'm commanded by God to do this. So I asked Jesus, and he said, Jesus said, tell them to like and subscribe. And if they're feeling the Holy Spirit, even do a share. I love you. All love, love all. Peace.